This is a practice video of Stella by Starlight by Victor Young. I'm going to perform this as a medium tempo swing tune. I've got my metronome at 100, and we've got a little bass accompaniment that we're going to use. We're going to do this tune in several steps. First, we're going to look at the melody, practice the melody with the top 3 fingers of our right hand. Since we're doing that 4-note style, we want to get the melody used to being played up here. Then we're going to go through and we're going to play it with the bass with our pinky finger and the melody with 3 fingers of our right. Then we'll go through and start to determine which thirds and sevenths are going to be nicely placed in the middle here, whether it's going to be 3rd and 7th or 7th and 3rd, or if there's some occasions where we're going to need to put another chord tone like the 5th in between. Then we're going to go and mess around with the melody a little bit, mess around with the rhythm of the chords a little bit, talk about feathering and talk about rhythm a little bit, and put this together in a nice, gently swinging arrangement. So let's go ahead first and look at this melody. Let's play the melody together. It's really not very syncopated, mostly in quarter notes and whole notes and a few dotted halves. So we'll go ahead and put the metronome on and play this together. Watch out for that key signature. We're in 2 flats, which would be the key of B flat major. Okay, so do your best to play this melody just with the top 3 fingers of your right hand. That really eliminates the possibility of putting your thumb on a black note, so we won't worry too much about that. Okay, you can watch me, or you can just try it along with me right now. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, all right, not bad. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go through, while we're doing that in our right hand, we're going to put the roots of the chords in the pinky finger of our left hand. Okay, so here we'll give this a shot. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Give this a second shot, okay? Here we go, second time, same idea. It's pretty hard to get all these chords and this melody coordinated in this such an awkward feeling of just the 5th finger and the top 3 fingers. So let's give that another shot. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Good. All right. Well, that's kind of tough. Okay, now we're going to go through and let's just try playing shell voicings in our left hand. Let's get used to that feel. So first we're going to try the shell voicings that are just the roots and the thirds in the left. Okay, so make sure you're comfortable with the different qualities of these chords. The first chord's half diminished, so that would be a minor third. This minor third would also apply to fully diminished chords and minor seventh chords. A major third, though, like the second chord, A and C sharp, is going to be for dominant type chords and major type chords. Alright, so what I'll do this first time is I'll play the melody in the thirds. I'll play the melody in my right hand and the shell voicing thirds in my left. If you feel comfortable doing the melody in your right and the shell thirds in your left, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just work on getting all the thirds right now. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready. Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, all right. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and play those shell voicings on your own in the left hand, and I'll play the melody. If you want to play the melody along with me, you can, but I'm not going to be playing the shells with you. This time you're going to be playing the shells on your own, just the interval of a third shells, the closed position shells. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, good. Now we're going to go through and do the entire tune using the shells that are the seventh, or the open position shells. Remember, major sevenths are going to be the interval of a major seventh. Minor sevenths and dominant sevenths are the interval of a minor seventh on the outside, as well as half diminished sevenths. And fully diminished sevenths, we don't have any in this tune, but if we did, that would be the interval of a diminished seventh. Okay, so all open position shell voicings this time. I'll play the melody and the shells. You can play the melody and the shells with me if you like, or if you want to get used to just the feeling of the shells first, just do your left hand. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, we'll go through this time now where you've got to play the shell voicings in your left hand. I won't be playing them, but I will give you the click and I will give you the bass and I'll play the melody. If you'd like to play the melody along with me, you can. Okay? So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Alright, good. Okay, now what we're going to do is go through and figure out the appropriate thirds and sevenths and how they're going to be spaced in our middle two voices. Sometimes that'll be the third down here, sometimes it'll be the seventh down here. So let's go through. Here we go, the first one. We have the root of the chord is E and the melody is up here at A. So we want the third and the seventh. We could do that two ways. We could do it here. The third is the G and the seventh is the D. So we could go third and seventh like that, which sounds really nice. Or we could go the third here and the seventh here. Excuse me, the seventh here and the third here, which would be E, D, G, and A. I actually like this voicing a little bit better. It's just got a more full sound. So we'll go E, G, D, and A. On the A7, we've got the root down here, and the melody is also the root. The third is a C sharp, and the seventh is a G. This is kind of a large space here for my right hand, so I'm going to do that guide tone concept where the third and the seventh of the E half diminished become the seventh and the third when the seventh is lowered by a half step. So I go G and D in the middle voices to G and C sharp. On the C minor, we could do a couple of different ways here. Let's go ahead and do it this way though, where we've got the third and the seventh, E flat down here in my left hand, B flat in my right hand. And then down to the F. You can see that because that's a 2-5, we don't have to move that far. The F is down here in the root. Melody is the F also. The third of the C minor becomes my seventh of the F7. And the B flat of my C minor goes down a half step and becomes the third of an F7. So let's go ahead and try those first 4 bars rather slowly. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good. Now going to the F minor, it's not that far of a reach to go from the F minor chord. My A natural becomes an A flat. I'm probably going to have to use this fingering with my thumb up there on the black note because this is just too far to reach. F, E flat in the left hand, A flat and G in the right hand. Now I've got another 2-5, so not too far to reach there. We've got B flat and D in the left hand, A flat and G in the right. Alright, now we've got E flat and B flat, so we want the seventh and the third, and it's also very close by a open shell in the left hand, E flat and D, with G and B flat in the right hand. The A flat 7 also is pretty close. A flat and B flat in our outer two voices. The third and the seventh are C and G flat, and there they are right there. So let's go ahead and do this second line now. We started right here. F, E flat, A flat, G. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And down to the A flat 7. Okay, now this next part's a little tricky because we've got the fourth scale degree, which is an avoid tone happening at the beginning of the measure. So probably what we're going to do is look at the next note, which is the D, and look at that as the real melody here. So when you look at that D as the melody, it's the third of the chord, which means that in our inner two voices, we're going to have the fifth and the other chord tone. So that means we've got the root, the third, the fifth, and the other chord tone, which is the seventh. Okay. Now we go to the next chord, and that melody is D, along with the E. Well, that's the seventh. So that means we follow that rule of if the melody is the third or the seventh, we put the fifth and the other chord tone in the inner two voices, which means that we need to have a fifth, maybe down here at the B flat, and the third up here at a G. The other way we could do this is like this, but that would mean that you'd have to be able to reach a tenth in your left hand, so probably this way is a little easier. E, B flat, G, and D. Okay. Now we're going to go to the A7. So we're going to go up here where we're going to grab the C sharp and the G in the middle voices. A, C sharp, G. And then it moves up to E there. Up to the D minor. Well, here if you look at the important chord tone that's happening for most of that measure, it's F, which is the third of D minor. So we're going to apply that rule of the melody being the third of the seventh, which means we're going to have D up here, G to F up here, the fifth, which is A, and the other remaining chord tone, which is the seventh, right here in our middle voice. Next we go to the B flat minor. That's a pretty easy grab right here. B flat, A flat, D flat, and F. Then you can see we're moving to an E flat, and every time we have a 2-5, it's generally pretty close by in those middle two voices. E flat, G, D flat, and F. So let's do that third line together now. B flat, F, A, and E flat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can slow that down and look at it again if you need to. Okay, now we go to the next line. Once again, our melody is at the fourth there, and so the next important chord tone that happens is the third, which is A. So we're going to follow that rule of melody, melody, bass, fifth, and remaining chord tone. F, C, E, and A, starting with B flat though. Here's again that issue of E with G being the melody. The G is the third, which means we're going to get the fifth, which is B flat, and the seventh, which is D in this case. Then we move to an A7, A, G, C sharp. That gives us the root, the third, and the seventh. Then we go up to A half diminished. Well, there's several ways to do this, but once again, look at what we've got here. The important chord tone that's happening in that measure is a C, which is the third of the A half diminished. So we want to have the root, the melody, the fifth, which is E flat, and the remaining chord tone, which is G. So we've got A, E flat, G, and D, C. The next measure, which is a D7, we go down here to D, and the melody you can see is a C, which is the seventh of the chord. So we follow that rule that we have the root, the seventh, or the melody tone here, the fifth, and the remaining chord tone, which is the third. All right, so let's go ahead and do that fourth line together now. We start with the voicing of F, C, E, and B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's also a tough line because it breaks so many of those rules. In fact, virtually every measure's got a broken rule. You can see that we're putting lots of fifths in our left hand. Let's continue on though. We got E flat, we've got G. We need to have the third and the seventh in between. We could do it right here, G, B, F, and E flat, or right here, G, F, B, and E flat. This way is going to prove to be a little better based on the next move we're going to make, and I'll show you that in a minute. C minor. Well, C minor, we've got F way up here and C down here. third and the seventh are in between. Well, we could do it a couple ways. One is here, E flat and B flat. That would mean you'd have to reach a tenth here. Or we could do it here, B flat and E flat, which means you'd have to reach a ninth here. So we could do it this way as well. C, E flat, B flat, and F. If you've got a nice reach, doing it one of these two ways is nice and open. If you've got a small reach, then you might have to do it this way. C, E flat, B flat, and F. Keep going. Here we go with A flat, and D is the melody. We need the third and the seventh in between. The logical place to do that is here, C on the third and G flat in the right hand. Here we've got a couple of options. The closest one is right here, B flat in the root, C in the melody, D and A being in the middle two voices, the third and the seventh. So let's do those two lines here. Okay? So we're going to start with the G, which is right here at G, B, F, and E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 4, 1. Okay. On that B flat, we could also voice it this way. That's pretty nice. B flat, A, D, and C. That doesn't take too much of a big reach. Let's continue on now, onto the E half diminished. Okay. E, and the melody A. G down here as the third, and seventh is the melody. Because it's a 2-5, that smoothly moves down to A, G, C sharp, and the melody. Now here's an issue here, F in the melody, that's the third of the chord. So that means we're going to have the root, melody, the fifth, and one other chord tone, which is the seventh, right there at the C. Okay. On the G7th, now that F becomes the seventh of the chord, so we're going to have root, seventh, fifth, which is D, and one other chord tone, which is B. So we had this. Okay. Let's try that line now. E, G, D, and A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now in the C half diminished chord, C in the bass, G flat in the melody, third and seventh in between. I actually like it a lot right here, B flat and E flat, as opposed to here, but they're both okay. Since we've got a 2-5, we've got that nice resolution. F and A, or here F and A, and then to B flat major. B flat, A, D, and F. Okay, so here's that last line together. Ready? C, B flat, E flat, and G flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. All right, well, let's go ahead and do this together with the click and with the bass. All right? So do your best. Every once in a while you might have to stop the video and work some things out. But if you play this section enough times, I know we'll get it all together. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, had that one little clam in there. But anyway, let's go ahead and try it again now. I'll give you the bass. I'll play the melody just to kind of guide you along, but try doing the 4-voice distribution right now all to yourself. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of the melody cues. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Good. All right, so now what we're going to do is free up the melody a little bit. One thing we'll try here is keep the chords pretty much where they're changing, which is pretty much on beat 1 and occasionally on beat 3, but free up the melody a little bit. Let's see. I'll give you an idea. I'll do one performance of what I'm talking about, and then we'll try one together. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Doing some anticipating. Why don't this time we go through and I'll play the basic chords and you just play a version of the melody that's loosened up a little bit. The main ways that I'm loosening it up are by anticipating some of the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1. Okay, so I'm anticipating a lot of the notes, and then occasional grace notes. So this time, go ahead and try to play a loose version of the melody, and I'll play some chords for you as an accompaniment. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. This time, go ahead and try to do our four-voice approach that we were doing, but play around with the melody a little bit in your top three fingers of your right hand. Okay, here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Here's the bridge. And the last section. Right, good. Well, that's a tough exercise right there. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and loosen up the other three voices. Remember, there's several ways we can do this. One is the feathering technique where you bring the voices in at different rates. So I could do something like this. I'm bringing all the voices in from bottom to top. That would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Another way we could do it would be bringing the voices in from top to bottom. Try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, here I go. All right. So that's one way. And the other way is bringing it from the middle to the out. Let's try that way. This one's going to be kind of difficult. Let's give this a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, here I go. All right, that's an interesting sound. Now, the other way to do this is sort of look at the bottom three voices, or at least the middle two voices, as a couple of horns, so you're kind of punctuating things in between the stagnant parts of the melody. Maybe something like this. Now, one way to do this would be, let's say, try our 2 and rhythm. 1, 2 and. When we have a space in the melody, put the 2 and rhythm in there. It's going to sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, you got the idea there. Or the 3 and rhythm. Let's try that one. 1, 2, 3 and. 1, 2, here I go. Okay. Or how about the Killer Joe rhythm? 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, here I go. You get the idea. That one's pretty difficult. Actually, all of these are really difficult. Whenever you pick one rhythm and try to apply it through the entire tune, it's a very challenging exercise. It's almost easier just to free it up and just be rhythmic with it and just do what comes naturally. But some other things are putting those accents on the and of 4 only, you know. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'll do one version of it where I'm just kind of playing naturally and freely using a lot of these concepts, and then we'll give you a chance to do it. So here I go with one last performance of this tune, freeing up the rhythm and freeing up the chords rhythm and freeing up the melody rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here I go. Okay, I'll give you one last chance here to go ahead and do it on your own, freeing up the rhythm both in the melody and in the chords. Let's give this a shot. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. The bridge. And the last section. Good. All right, did you end in the right place? Did we end together? Okay, tough tune. This is probably one of the toughest tunes in this whole unit. It's a melody's interesting melody. The chords are really tough, lots of 2/5s in different keys, and getting all those exceptions to the guide tones in the middle really present a lot of challenging things to take care of in this tune. But anyway, I hope you had a good time practicing it. Keep practicing it. Look forward to hearing it, and look forward to seeing you at the next video.